nominated Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump says that same thing. They are kidnapping your dogs and your pets and they are eating them. J.D. Vance, his running mate, is pushing that lie. Okay? Now, this name may or may not mean anything to you, but there's someone who's been traveling with Donald Trump here lately, and her name is Laura Loomer. I want to call her Looney Tunes. This woman is nuts, and she's traveling with them. And she may be an unpaid advisor. I have no idea what the relationship is, except for it seems mighty, mighty cozy. She's a 9/11 denier. She said it's an inside job. That 9/11 is an inside job. And guess what? If it's an inside job, that would mean that it was done by the United States government or someone within the United States. Okay? She's the one that handcuffed herself to, was it LinkedIn? No, it wasn't LinkedIn. It was the Twitter headquarters. She handcuffed herself to the door because they banned her. Okay? She was banned because of her wild conspiracy theories. Okay? And it's only because of the current owner of Twitter right now let her back in. You guys know who he is. You guys know who he is, who is also a supporter of Trump. But what I'm saying is, folks, it has gotten dangerous. In Springfield, Ohio, they have shut down schools. Okay? I think they had to shut down the city building. Okay? Children, Haitian children, the parents, some of them are not letting their children go to school because they are afraid of the safety of their children. This is absolutely ridiculous. It is unnecessary, and I can't find the words to say it's beyond that. Makes absolutely no sense at all. Okay, for this to be tolerated. We shouldn't tolerate it. And I'm going to say, anyone out there that's voting for this man, there are only a few reasons why you would. Okay? That means you are uninformed. You have no way of getting a good information. You have no way of you're ignorant of the fact. And some are just downright ignorant. To vote for him, I don't care if you're white, black, green, or yellow. You have to understand this man doesn't care about you. If you're not rich and famous, he doesn't even care. And even if you're rich, if you don't go along with him, he doesn't care about you. But let's talk about the people that are underserved, okay, underprivileged, okay, that struggle, to make rent or to buy food or to buy gas, okay? Oh, forget about taking a vacation. That's out of the window. Forget about going out, for taking your wife or your girlfriend out for, maybe a dinner, or a movie. That's out. I'm talking about people who are struggling day to day just to make ends meet. Okay? These people are voting for him. So some say, hey, we were better off 4 years ago. Are you serious right now? Go back 4 years ago, you were locked up in your home because of COVID. Okay? The job market had dried up because nobody was working, because nobody was afraid to go out. Okay? And you say, well, what about inflation now? Well, look at what caused inflation. Okay? Look at what caused inflation. Yes, inflation got high. I mean, it got at an all-time high. It was over up to 9%. But now it's gotten down to 3%. Now, who did that? Biden and Harris did. But you have to understand what happened to cause it. There's always a cause and effect. When Trump took over the White House, he inherited, excuse me, a really good economy. Guess what? From President Obama. That's exactly right. Now listen to me closely, because when President Obama came into the White House, after he took it over from another Republican, George Bush, I think it's George H. Bush, whichever it was, this economy was in the toilet. Housing market, it was in the toilet. Job market was in the toilet. He ran it into the ground. The stock market had crashed damn near. I know it because I'm a stockbroker. Well, former stockbroker. I don't trade anymore, but I'm still a financial advisor. Oh, I'm going to take a little plug right now. If you want to talk about finances and how to secure your finances, and also you talk about generational wealth, and also securing and maintaining or creating a sound portfolio, why don't you check out my Tuesday show? It's called The Money Talk. Money Talk Radio with Aaron and William. It comes on at Tuesday, 2:45 p.m. on the West Coast, 5:45 on the East. All right, check it out. Money Talk Radio right here on this network. Now, you can check us out. There's a host of ways that you can check us out. We have a free app. Okay. Our Android app, just go to your Play Store and download Studio W. Apple Studio.w. Okay. Available on Google Play, Apple CarPlay, and Alexa. All right. And now, if you enjoy this, you will hear this show or any of our shows, just go to the website about 24 hours from now, and you can hear this in its entirety. Okay, and that's studiow.buzz, www.studiow.buzz. Okay, and go to featured shows, scroll down to Boomerang, and it's right there. And all of our shows, we're on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I like to say, the finest in broadcasting anywhere around the globe. All right, so check it out. So, but anyway, let's get back. Haitians are terrified due to no fault of their own. By all accounts, they are very smart people, and they are there legally. Put a line under that. Legally, they are there. And they've proven to be an asset, not a liability. And no one should go through that. Now, but you look at the dog whistle, which has turned into a bullhorn. It is pure racist. Another way to divide and conquer. Another way to divide and conquer. If they can divide us, they can conquer us. Please understand that. Please understand. Man, it is crazy. So, to me, my vote is clear. I mean, the way I'm going to vote is very, very clear. There's only one person in this race that deserves to be president. If you think about it, the other one is a convicted felon. I'm going to talk to all men and women out there right now. Okay, let's talk about voting. If you're a convicted felon, you're not allowed to vote. You are not allowed to vote. And I don't know whether there are some exceptions in some states or not. But you are a convicted felon. You're not allowed to vote. Now, you may be able to write to the governor or someone else to get your name cleared or get permission to. But for the most part, you are not allowed to vote. Got a question for you guys out there. If you cannot vote as a convicted felon, how in the hell are you going to run for president? It makes no sense. That's ass backwards. It makes no sense at all. How in the world are you allowed to run for president, but you can't vote? Okay? Now, that guy has 34 convictions and more on the way. I mean, it's like the courtroom is a revolving door for him. I mean, like he's in, he's out, he's in, he's out, he's in and out. And do you want this to represent the United States of America in front of the world? Like Kamala Harris said the other night, the world is laughing at this clown. The generals are saying he's a disgrace. Over 200 Republicans, known Republicans, some work for him, some work for Bush, some work for any Republican Party for years, even Dick Cheney. Not a fan of Dick Cheney. His daughter Liz Cheney. Okay? Adam Kissinger. There are so many Republicans that say, no. I am going to put my country over party. And that's the way it should be. If it was the other way around, I would do the same thing. If Biden was as corrupt as this cat, no, I wouldn't vote for him either. I would not do that. If Kamala was a criminal like this guy, I wouldn't vote for her. But she's just the opposite. She's just the opposite. You got the criminal on one side, you got the prosecutor on the other. Some says, hey, she's not qualified. Oh boy. If it wasn't serious, it'd be funny. Qualified. I saw a chart the other day, and they were talking about all the presidents, recent presidents, that have experience, okay, in government. And I'm talking about going back to Clinton, Bush. Pick one. Just pick one. And the maximum some of them have is 11 years serving in government. Okay? The maximum. Nobody questioned their qualifications. Okay? Oh, guess how many years Trump had? Zero. Now, let's talk about Kamala. She has over 34 years in government. Hey, Him Rogers, how are you? Yes, you can tell I'm on fire here. I'm alone right now. Perhaps some panelists will join me, but if not, I've got this. 34 years. Would they say that about anyone else? Would they say that about a white man? Would they say that about a white woman? No. I mean, this dog whistle we talk about has turned into a bullhorn. And you want to talk about voting? I can't understand how the race could be this close. You people had your head in the sand, or you've got something to gain. I understand how the rich and elite are voting for him because they have one thing in mind. That's cutting their taxes and making money. Cutting their taxes and making money. That is it. The rest of you are either in a cult or you're just plain stupid. Yep, I said it. I sure did. Okay? If you have a comment, you can leave it in the chat section. I don't care. I really don't. This makes absolutely no sense at all. If you had two brain cells that you could rub together, you would not vote for this clown. Okay? Hatred, despair. And he already told you what he's going to do. No policies at all. We'll get into it a bit later, but he was asked, well, what about a health plan? I have a concept. He said, I have a concept of a health plan. Hold it. Back up 1 second. 9 years ago, he said he had a plan, didn't he? 9 years ago. And during the time he was in the office, we've got one coming in 2 weeks. They asked him in 2 weeks, it's coming up in a few weeks. And that went on and on and on because he wanted to replace President Obama's Affordable Care Act. Now, let's get to that. For years, Congress and the Senate and presidents tried to come up with a health plan, and they could not do it. They could not come up with a plan. President Obama did. Matter of fact, President Obama turned the entire economy around. Remember I said earlier how George Bush left this place a mess, and President Obama bought it back. The stock market has crashed. President Obama bought that back. Jobs, okay? He bought that back. The economy overall, he revived that. The housing market, he revived that. What? And he comes in, this other clown I'm talking about, 45, comes in. Oh, look, the pendulum was swinging up and he rode it. But he took credit for everything. But anytime something went wrong, he said, nope, take no responsibility. Come on. You want someone who's going to be honest with you. If they make a mistake, admit it. Don't say, hey, I've never done anything wrong. That's a lie. That's a complete lie. He says, he told Don Lemon one time in an interview, I'm the least racist person you'll ever meet. That is a lie. Hey, Donald, remember back in 1972 when you and your dad were convicted? I mean, you were charged for discrimination against black people because you didn't want black people moving into your apartments? Okay? You remember the Central Park 5? That you took out a full-page ad and wanted them executed? And even after they were found innocent, you never backed down and said, okay, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Never once. Never once. Remember when you said that you never wanted a black man counting your money? Okay. I got a story that is close to home. My mother used to arrange bus excursions or bus trips. And she would go up to Atlanta City, New York, different places, right? And she would take 2 or 3 buses sometime. Okay. I understand they had a great time. I never had a chance. I was out in California. And one of my brothers told me that they stopped in front of one of Trump's casinos. I'm not sure. I believe that was in Atlantic City. And they got off the bus. Someone wanted to go in and gamble, and some needed to use the restroom. They would not permit them to come in. They were denied entry into the casino. Are you hearing me? Okay. And I know my brother's telling the truth. They were denied entry. Also, there were times when he had your black dealers, at the card tables or whatever it is. And when his elite people came in there, he cleared the black people off of the floor. No, you guys got to get out of here, okay? He's cheated everybody that he's worked with. He has bankrupt people. When he built the Taj Mahal, people spent their companies had to go bankrupt. Their companies had to go bankrupt because he would not pay them. That's a fact. There's some places right now he can't hold a rally because he will not pay the bills. He didn't pay for the last one. He didn't pay for rallies that he held back there in 2016. Stuck them with the bill. And this is who you want to be president. And not only that, the hatred, the vitriol. And he already told you what he's going to do in there. He didn't say anything about policy decisions because he has no damn policies. He's not talking about any doggone policies at all. Or I like his policies. We'll name one. I'll wait. Name one. The man has no policies. None. Zero. He already told you what he's going to do. He's going after his political enemies. He's going back to the judges, the witnesses, and people who testified against him. That's what he's planning on doing. He's already told you he's going to do that. Retribution is his number one agenda. Number one on his agenda, rather. Who knows what number 2 is? Oh, besides kissing up to Putin. He would not even say that he wanted Ukraine to win the war. You know why? Because he does not. Because that is counterproductive to what Putin wants. Oh yes, he's in love with Kim Jong Un, isn't he? North Korea. Oh, absolutely, because they write love letters together. Oh yeah, back and forth. Ooh, I wonder if they put lipstick on it. Okay, China. He's blaming Biden from taking money from China when this guy has Chinese bank accounts. Come on now. His daughter has patents with China. She got them when she was in the White House. Matter of fact, she made over 600. Her and Jared made over $600 million while they're in the White House. Did you know that? Which should be illegal. Which is supposed to be illegal. He made money. Okay. As a matter of fact, there's an investigation that was going on several years ago about him taking money from Egypt in the tune of $10 million. Okay, check it out. You say, well, what happened to it? It was quashed by his attorney general, Bill Barr. It was quashed. Any investigation that was going on about him, they did their best to get rid of it. And that's what he's going to do with these charges if he ever gets back in. Folks, I mean, how long is your memory? How long is it? Okay? It is absolutely astonishing. I've got some comments coming up here. Let me see who that is. Okay, Sabura. That's right, Sabura. He said he only had a concept of a plan, but he wants to replace it. Okay, we're talking about the Affordable Care Act. And I'll tell you how stupid some people are out there. And I saw this on TikTok, or not TikTok, but YouTube. And they walked up to some people, says, "What do you think about the Obamacare?" Oh, no, Obamacare. Nope, absolutely not. No, don't like it. Don't like it at all. Ask the same person, what do you think about the Affordable Care Act? Oh, yes, I like that. Oh, my God. You knucklehead, do you know it's the same thing? Do you realize it's the same thing? But because you said Obamacare, we know what that's all about. Oh, no, I don't like that, but I like the Affordable Care Act. It's the same damn thing. Get your head out of the sand. But some people are so racist, so biased that, they will not. It is the same thing, Sabora. You're exactly right. It's the same thing. But they like Affordable Care Act, but they do not like Obamacare. How stupid can you be? How stupid can you be? But I'm telling you. And then his running mate, J.D. Vance. Wow. Oh, yes. Plus, you're right. His family's using it. It's just like he and his family got vaccinated. But they all of a sudden they're anti-mask and anti-vax. Okay? Now, think about who. Now, I want to give him credit for one thing. And that is that he put the oh, Vance is a clown too. I'm going to address that in a second. Let's talk about him. It is absolutely incredulous. It is absolutely incredulous. Now, like I said, I'm going to give him credit for one thing because he put that, of course, he had nothing to do with it except for approve it. And that is that he put the vaccine on a fast track. Now, whether you're an anti-vaxxer or not, that is your business. But I'm going to ask you that too. Then I'm going to get back to the subject here. When you were a child and you had to register for school, what was required that you be vaccinated? I don't know exactly how it works now. Somebody can maybe inform me on that. But you had to be vaccinated, didn't you? And nobody said a word. But because some of his stupid constituents who did not want that, then all of a sudden he turned against it. And some people were talking about, hey, it's just the flu. Get out of here with that. Over 1 million people died. There's no flu that ever happened that over 1 million people died. Now, they had what they used to call the Spanish flu, and I think there were several 100,000 people that died behind that. It was really out of control. But this was not the flu, folks. I mean, if you turn on your TV and you see people under these ventilators, people just dying when you catch it. I have a brother who just caught it, and this is the second time. Okay? And it is absolutely awful. Thank God I've never caught it, and I hope I don't. Okay, but this was a serious matter, and it torn with you and treating this just like it was a doggone game. But let's get to J.D. Vance also, who's spreading this conspiracy theory about. Matter of fact, he was one of the main ones that came out with it, that they're kidnapping your dogs and cats. And now they're saying that they're even eating humans. Whew. Man, this is crazy. This is crazy. So you know what you're doing, don't you? Haitians are black people. All right? That is racist. Not only is racist, it is dangerous. And they are there legally. Like I said earlier, if you have just tuned in, you would realize that this town of Spring, and I know I'm repeating myself, but this is for guys and gals just tuned in. Springfield, Ohio was a dying town. The Haitians came in. It is racist, Sabora. They came in and revitalized the town. They're hardworking. They're educated. Okay? And with this manufacturer that was talking about, he says, and they don't do drugs. Sound pretty ideal to me. But J.D. Vance got up there and he's spewing the same garbage. I think he needs to give his wife her eyeliner back. I know she's tired of you stealing it, JD. Okay. But anyway, let me get back on subject here. But this guy, and he talked about childless cat ladies. I don't understand what kind of campaign these guys are running. It's all on conspiracy, like the QAnon stuff that they're running on. It makes absolutely no sense at all. And you talk about this, and this guy even he's attacking Kamala Harris's vice president. Talk about his years in service. That he really and now a VP said something about he carried weapons of war while he was in the military. Well, he misspoke a little bit because he didn't actually go into combat, but he did train men and women that were going into war. Okay? He spent 24 years in the military. 24. Okay? And JD, you need to be quiet. You spent 4. But guess what? You didn't carry a rifle either. You carried around a computer. You were in some source of communication. You need to shut the hell up. And I can tell what kind of senator you were because as a VP, if what is coming out of your mouth right now and you put that on the Senate floor, good Lord, they must have laughed at you. You are a laughing stock. Your career is over, brother. And I'm going to tell you something right now. People who are paying attention, and people are paying attention. Now, I think a lot of these clowns, their careers are over. Oh, yeah, they're pulling, yes, Sabor, pulling at straws. He has nothing to really use to come for VP Harris. We're going to get into a second. We're definitely going to get into that because I want to talk about this debate here in a little bit. All right. But ladies and gentlemen, I really want you to check out our website and check out our free apps because you can take us with you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The Apple app, I gave it to you earlier, but those who just tuned in, go to your Apple App Store and download Studio.w. Studio.w. Android is simply Studio W. The website is studiow.buzz, studiow.buzz. Okay, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Available on Apple, CarPlay, Google Play, and Alexa. And this broadcast is streaming live right now on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Studio W The Buzz. That's how you get to Facebook and YouTube. And I think it's Studio W Buzz on LinkedIn. Okay. So, man, let's get back to this thing here because this is absolutely crazy. Because I do not want to get off subject here as far as the Haitian community is concerned. Oh, yes, she did. Yes, she did. We're going to talk about that debate. Okay. That's right. She said, "You debating me, not President Biden." Oh, yeah. As a matter of fact, you think about that. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But I wish I had a chicken sound bite. I mean, a chicken voiceover here in a little bit. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Oh, run, chick, run. This is absolutely nuts. But, folks, I'm going to tell you, take this election seriously. And keep in mind, divide and conquer, divide and conquer. That has been their gameplay for years. Okay? Pit one race against the other. Turn the blacks against the whites against the Hispanic, and anybody, okay? The Muslim communities, okay? Whatever community there is, the Jewish community. Divide everybody, make everybody hate each other. And let me tell you, you falling for the okie doke, that's because if they keep us fighting down here, you won't be able to look up, would you? You will not be able to see what's happening on the top, where the rich are just raping and pillaging, money-wise, economically. Please pay attention, all right? They are talking about the economy. They're talking, I got a few facts for you. When Trump left the White House, the economy was heading for trouble. Because right now, he's talking about putting tariffs on our trading partners, putting tariffs on our trade partners. How did that work out the last time? Okay? And we're going to take in trillions of dollars because we're going to put, first he said a 10% tariff on everybody. Then he said a 20% tariff on everybody. Okay. All right. Are you falling for that too? He's going to bring in trillions of dollars from tariffs. All right. Let me educate you folks right now that don't know. The only people that pay for those tariffs are you. Did you know that? The countries that are exporting their goods from wherever it is, whether it's China, whether it's Japan, wherever it is, okay? When they slap a 20% tariff on that, they don't pay that. It's passed on to the buyer, which is us. Okay? Our companies. That's who pay that. And then guess what? They pass it on to you. Let me tell you how tariffs work. Tariffs are designed so that the prices of the goods are so high that Americans won't buy it. They won't buy the goods because it's too high. Do I need to repeat myself? Tariffs are placed on, the United States placed tariffs on a particular company or country rather, so it's too expensive for you to buy. It's not revenue that is paid by them. Because guess what? When he was talking about, he was asked, it was the economic convention where these clowns clapped for him. And he's talking about, and he was asked, what are you going to do about child care? He said, child care is child care. Okay? It's just like Sabora when he's talking about there's a concept of a plan. Child care is child care. And what we're going to do, we're going to get so much money from these other countries, which is so, it is so uh, much money coming in. It's not funny. The only reason why I'm laughing is because if it weren't so serious, it would be funny. He said, we're going to get so much money from these countries here that child care will be a small thing. And the money we take in will take care of child care. It does not work like that. It's like a trickle-down economics that this clown is talking about. Remember how he cut taxes on the wealthy and talk about trickle-down economics. Reagan tried that crap. A lot of those clowns tried that, thinking, okay, I'm going to cut the taxes on the super wealthy, and all that extra money they have is going to trickle down to you. I think trickle is probably the right word, but somewhere there's a clog in the pipes because it doesn't get to where it's needed. It does not get to where it's needed, folks. It doesn't go to affordable housing. It doesn't go to increased wages. As a matter of fact, they are against a minimum wage. The last thing I heard that the minimum wage proposal, now some states like I think California, I think they have increased theirs to $20, but in some places, like you take West Virginia, Kentucky, most of the red states, it's under $15 an hour. In 2024, who in the world can live off of $8 and $10 an hour? With the prices of things right now, who in the world can live off of $8 to $10 an hour? You have to work 100 hours a week probably to even scratch it or get an extra job. Does that happen in North Carolina? Sabora, is it under $15 an hour there? That's why it's necessary for us to win North Carolina. That's why it's necessary for us to win this vote. Now, oh my God. I just found out in North Carolina, the minimum wage is $7.25. Guys, gals, wherever you are, because you know this program goes around the world. Ask yourself the question. The Republican Party does not want you to have a $15 minimum wage, but in North Carolina, which is the nation state over, it's $7.25. Let that resonate for a little bit. Take that in. $7.25 for a minimum wage. We're not talking about a part-time job out of high school. Maybe a part-time, maybe a child out of high school, they got an extra job and they got their parents working. Yeah, $7.25. Hey, yeah, that's pocket change for them. That's it. But it doesn't pay a mortgage, can it? Can it buy you a decent car? Right? $7.25. And these clowns in Congress who takes off as much as they, I want to say work, but they don't do any work either. This, Sabura said, children can't live off that either. I'm saying, Sabura, if the parents are taking care of them, that'd be pocket change. Oh, gas. Everything's expensive. Okay? I would tell you, let's speaking of gas, and I'm coming back to all of this. I remember I was in California, Matter of fact, we just migrated from California back in 2021. Well, not migrated from. Yes, I did because I was born in Richmond, Virginia, and I just moved back in 2021. Brought the entire operation back here. Okay, to Richmond, and I recall I'm in Los Angeles, and I had gone to a business meeting in Los Angeles, and I looked at my gas tank. I said, "Oh my goodness!" Now I'm an hour and a half, depending on traffic, away from home. And I look at my gas tank. I say, "Wow, I'm not going to make it." Folks, you don't want to get caught on any freeway out of gas, and especially in California. You do not want to be stuck on the freeway in California. I'm telling you that right now. Okay. You said it sure will be working for gas at $7.25. And speaking of this, and thank you for that comment and the chuckle that it brought along with, because this is a very serious thing, and sometimes we need to laugh. Sometimes we got to laugh. I say there are a few really really great medicines that you don't have to inject. You know, you just have to, like, music is a great medicine. Laughter is another one. That is it. Wow. And where you are, you don't have a bus system. Well, what do people do? Oh, wow. And that don't have a car. Folks, they're like, now Sabura's in North Carolina, and she said where they are, they don't even have a bus system. Folks, if you haven't gotten a really good education and a really good job, and you living in one of these out there, I guess, in the suburbs, and it is, music is my therapy too. Suburbs, you there's a problem there. There's a real problem. Affordable housing is a problem these days. And gas. Let me get back to that situation. I was in Southern California, and like I said, I'm leaving this meeting, and I'm looking at my gas tank, and I said, I'm not going to make it home. And this was when Trump was president. Okay. Now, granted, I paid a little bit more for my gas because I only put premium in my tank. Okay, I only put for reasons, because I think that it would be better for the life of the car. Okay, that's why I do that. But anyway, so I pulled over, and premium was $6.50 a gallon, and this was in 2019. Now, who was president then? Oh, 45 was president then. $6.50. Now, where I lived in San Bernardino, it was like an hour and a half there, and it was like $1.50 cheaper. But we're still talking about $5 a gallon, $5 plus a gallon, at least. So I put a quarter of a tank in there. I said, okay, when I get back to San Bernardino, I'll fill it up. It is absolutely crazy. You see. So, and back to that win-win. Affordable housing is affordable for home. That's what we have to realize. Now, I also understand that Kamala says she has a plan. She wants to build 3 million new homes for purchase and to rent, because rent is out of the roof. I know for a fact, because coming back here, you know, and I said, okay, I'm going to buy a home when I get back there. But in the meantime, I'm gonna have to lease a townhouse or something like that until, I need a one solid floor, for my station. Okay, and I did. And so I said, oh boy, it's got to be cheaper in Virginia than it is in California. I was wrong. My lease is twice as much as my house note back in California. Twice as much. So it's going through the roof all over the place now. Typically, back in places like Virginia, North Carolina, places like that, They aren't as expensive as places like New York and California. But I was tricked when I got back here. I said, whoa, unbelievable. So, yes, we need affordable housing. Kamala says also she's going to put and put in some legislation to stop the price gouging. So, folks, you want to talk about inflation? Let me tell you what happened. Coming out of COVID, the supplies were low, but the demand was still high. That's right. No one can afford $1,000 rent with a $15 an hour job. You're exactly right about that. You're exactly right about that. Yet the corporations that's hiring these people, they are making record profits. They are making record profits. Don't take my word for it. Look at what the top CEOs are making. We're talking about 100, 200, 300 million dollars a year. 25, 30, 50, $100 million a year. And everybody knows the doggone CEO doesn't do a doggone thing. Sits up in his ivory tower office, okay, look at some reports, take in as many vacations as he or she wants, okay, and the people at the bottom are doing all the work. That's a fact. Okay? That's a fact. These clowns are walking away, with tons and tons of money. And you talk to me about a trickle-down effect? You mean they can't take some of that $300 million or $100 million and pay their employees a living wage? Not a minimum wage, but a living wage. Something you can live off of. But see, the trick is, that's what 45, that's all he wants. He wants to make sure he cuts the taxes for the rich. Okay? There's no such thing as trickle down economics. No. That is a pie in the sky dream because it does not happen. Like Kamala says, she wants to build the middle class, the middle and out, which includes people that are making less than that. Okay? That's what's going on. You're talking about inflation. When you have, and so let's coming out of COVID now, you've got low supply and high demand. Oh boy, these guys were licking their chops right there because they knew that they could charge you and price gouge you. Okay? Because you need food. You remember back there in 2019 and 2020 when there was no toilet paper on the shelves, no paper towels, no baby formula, and a lot of your staple goods, they weren't there. Okay? Because of the economic strain that clown put on us. You talking about terrorists. A lot of these companies says, okay, oh, you want to put tariffs on us, which they didn't pay for. We paid for the terrorist folks. Don't be fooled. Okay. No. She was speaking. No, she was not speaking to the middle and above. She was talking about the middle down because she says the middle out. Okay. She wanted to include everybody because in her speech she was saying we want a way so everybody. Yes, she is considering low income people. Absolutely. Because remember in her speech, she was saying we want everybody to not only to get by, but get ahead. Everybody. To get by, not only to get by, but to get ahead. Building businesses. She's proposing a $50,000 tax break for startup businesses. Right now, it's only $5,000. That'll make a huge difference because, like they said, a startup business, the average cost to start up a business is about $40,000 if you want to be successful. That's what we're talking about. And let me tell you what's really going on. Inflation is caused by a lot of different things. Tariffs, okay, low supply, high demand, okay, and also when you have this guy added $8 trillion to the deficit. The deficit right now is about at $35 trillion. $35 trillion. That's right. The working class is the low income Americans. You're exactly right. They are doing the work and they need to be paid for it. They are doing the work. Okay? The people who clean, the people who cook. Okay? And a lot of these people, they will hire people to clean and cook for them, right? Because they need it done. But they don't want to pay them to do that. This is important work. Educators. Teachers are vastly underpaid. That's a doggone shame. A lot of teachers have to spend their own money to put books in the classroom or put supplies in the classroom. Are you hearing me? Are you listening to this? All right. Let's get back to this. You got low supply, high demand. Low supply, high demand. You got tariffs. You got taxes. Okay? You have price gouging. Add to that, this man added $8 trillion. No, she didn't leave them out. No, absolutely not, because she says everyone. Again, she said, I don't want you just to get by. I want you to get ahead. Okay? This guy added $8 trillion to the deficit, which is now $35 trillion. He said right now, if he gets back in, he's going to give them another tax break. I think it's at, right now, it's at, was it 28 or 25%? And he wants to drop it down to 20. Folks, that's going to add another $6 trillion to the deficit, which is also going to increase or inflate, translated into inflation. You add those components together. Add those components together. Okay? And I know these things because, like I said, my field is in economics. Because I'm a former stockbroker, but I deal with the market. I have to understand what's going on. What's being sold and what's being bought. Okay? All right? What does it cost to do this? Okay? You add $8 trillion, you add another $6 trillion to already $35 trillion. And let me tell you something right now. Every day, it's accumulating interest that has to be paid. Can you imagine the interest on $35 trillion? Good Lord. The interest alone is in the tens of millions of dollars. The interest is in millions of dollars per day. It's like paying a minimum payment on your credit card. How does that work out for you? How long is it going to take you to pay that off? How long is it going to take you to pay that off? Yeah, a lot of folks don't want to admit it. But many of us are not getting the bag. We're not getting it. We don't understand it because it's not being explained to us, because a lot of us aren't paying attention to what's going on. And so we end up voting in these fools. We end up voting in these fools, man. Come on. These folks don't give a damn about you. You take that dog, the Congress right now, which is run by the Republicans. The worst Congress in history. It is documented. This 118th Congress is the worst in history. The worst. I mean, look at what they're doing. They've been in session. This 118th has been in since 2022, haven't they? What have they done? What have they done? Except for investigating Hunter Biden and Joe Biden. They want to impeach Biden for what? The man is doing his job if you're paying any attention. I've got it written down somewhere, but let me go off of what I remember off the top of my head. The infrastructure bill. Absolutely. Because our roads and bridges were falling apart. Oh, we've had a couple of bridges collapse. You remember that? But he got up there and rebuilt bridges. Was that in Minnesota? No, it wasn't Minnesota. Help me out where it was. The bridge that collapsed, and he got that rebuilt in record amount of time. How about the CHIPS Act that has added tens of thousands of jobs to this economy? How about manufacturing? Jobs up 800,000. The unemployment rate for everybody right now is the lowest it's ever been in history. Hey, you can fact check me all you want. Go on. I guarantee what I'm saying is true. All right? Wages are higher, even though the minimum wage, nope, that doesn't, that's a whole different deal because it's some legislation needs to be passed regarding that. The PACT Act, Biden got that done. You know what the PACT Act is? That is to increase the benefits for our veterans, the people that get out there and fight for us. Republicans wanted to shoot that down. Okay? I can go on and on and on what the man has done, and you saying, oh, he hasn't done anything, the worst president in the world. Just shut up. You don't know what the hell you know. You do know what you're talking about, but what you're trying to do is mislead people. That's what you're doing. And it's a doggone shame. You want to investigate Hunter Biden for what? Hunter Biden is not running for a president. And if you think about it, his father, Joe Biden, allowed the Department of Justice to investigate his own son. Where Trump has pardoned and had pardoned a lot of the criminal friends of his. Steve Bannon's in jail right now. Who is that clown that just got out? The one was talking about the Green Bay sweep. Oh my God, I could see his face. I don't want to, but I could think about it. And a lot of his top officials have gone to prison. Rick Gates went to prison. Okay. Oh boy, I could see this other cat who colluded with Russia. All these guys are criminals. And are you even considering this guy? Are you serious right now? 88 felony charges, 34 he's already been convicted. Convicted of rape. Liable for fraud. He owes New York almost $500 million for fraud. Because he's a crook. Because he's a crook. It's been proven, folks. Yet Congress wants you, they're going after him. Oh, Joe Biden's going after him. No, Joe Biden is not going after the man. He was convicted by or charged by a grand jury. Now I'm gonna tell you something. Well, on one hand, they say, "Oh, Joe Biden is too stupid. He's this and that and the other. He's too old to do this." But yet, you will turn around and say he's smart enough to go after you and get you convicted. You can't have it both ways, folks. Pay attention. Pay attention. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to your children. You owe it to your grandchildren to pay attention. His supporters like it because he speaks his mind. Really? Have you heard him speak? He speaks his mind. People are eating dogs and cats. Babies are being murdered after they're born. Women are getting having abortions in the 7th, 8th, 9th month. I want a woman out here right now to tell me that they had an abortion in the 7th, 8th, or 9th month, or they allowed their baby to be murdered after the baby was born. Tell me about that. That the baby was murdered in the hospital. Okay. Oh, and he got them fooled to think that they care about him, about them rather. He doesn't care about you. I tell you what. You're a white person and you're making about $50,000 a year. Go down and knock on the door at the Mar-a-Lago and say, "Hey, I want to see Trump, or I want to play on a golf course." Ha! You know how much it costs to be a member of his golf course? Well, he went up from $750,000 to $1 million. You have to pay $1 million a year to be a member of that club. $1 million. Yep, he did lie. No doctor aborted a baby that late in pregnancies. We've known that for years. After Roe v. Wade was passed. And I remember, and I didn't know much about this as far as the intricacies or what really happened, but I do remember they saying that doctors are not performing abortions in the 3rd trimester. And they were reluctant to do it in the 6th month or 5th month or whatever it is, unless it was causing the wife or the woman to have some medical complications. They're very leery about that. But do you remember when these abortion clinics, the doctors were getting killed? Remember that? Man, this is crazy. This is absolutely nuts. But you think about your future when you go to the ballot box. Because, see, I'm past trying to convince anyone. I don't want to put the information out there and you make your decision on that. Anyone who votes for this fool, either you're really, 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 really stupid, or you got something to gain. Or you're part of this cult that your ears are blocked and you don't let any information in because you hear one thing, and that is that the Democrats are evil, and if they took over, the United States is going to hell in a handbasket. And that's what he gets up there and says. Any man or woman that gets up and says, "I'm the only one that can save this country," you better run. You better run. Oh, yes, the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, Maryland. Thank you so much, Sabora. That was rebuilt in record time, and guess under who? President Biden. Now, I'll give you this. And I don't understand why he wasn't or isn't more popular than he should be. And I think it is his, it's really crazy how bad news travels faster than good news. And I understand, the man stammers and then he's gotten older and his delivery isn't as sharp as it should be, but he's still doing the work. He's still doing the work. Okay? You think about this, folks. The things that are wrong with this country, and there's so many things that's going wrong with this country right now. Gun violence. We can talk about that. Violence overall. domestic violence. All of these things, we have so many different problems. And also this stuff, the elephant in the room is mental health, mental illness. That's something that's not being addressed. Okay? There are more guns in this country than there are people. There are more guns in this country than there are people, folks. How much sense does that make? We have over 300 million people in this country, and there are over 400 million guns. I saw something not too long the other day, and was talking about, and this guy was from Canada. He said, "Yeah, we have guns up here too, but we don't have children getting killed in schools. So what does that tell you about the United States of America? Other countries have guns too, not to the extent that we do, but they have access to guns like we do, and their kids aren't being murdered. They don't have these mass murders where someone can walk up into a grocery store and gun down a bunch of black people, or walk into a church, or walk into a school. What nut job will walk in and kill a bunch of children? Yet these people, no, you can't take our guns. You know, this is a family show, so I'm not going to talk like I would off air. You know, I tell you, when I first started this program years ago, man, I was dropping F-bombs all over the place. But I can't do that now, okay? I've gotten better. I've gotten better. Trust me on that. What nut jobs, or what kind of nut job is going to give a 14-year-old an assault rifle? Whew. I'm glad his dad is being punished for it. And the dad had crocodile tears when he was in court. That other couple that allowed their son to have an assault rifle, they're being held accountable. And how in the world Kyle Rittenhouse got off is beyond me. I don't understand that. You remember the young 17-year-old that crossed state lines and killed 2 people? Yeah, yes, boy. I don't do that anymore. I've kind of watched myself, you know. Yeah, I almost went into therapy for dropping F-bombs. I said, okay, I got to cut this out. No, I'm just joking. But anyway, but no, nobody in this country needs an assault rifle. And these people are so afraid. Oh, you're not taking my guns. You're not taking my guns. Really? Somebody kills your kid in school, you might have a different thought. Somebody walking in with an assault rifle. And think about the kids, the children that weren't killed, but they were shot. Those things leave so much damage that they could have problems for the rest of their life. Not only physically, but how about mentally, emotionally? What kind of impact would that have on someone? That makes no sense at all. And a lot of these people, and this gets me, they're Bible thumpers. Every time you can mention God and guns in the same sentence, God should lock your jaw up. You should never be able to talk again. Or you go talk about, you spewing out hatred out of one lip and then talk about God out of the other one. No, parents are not parenting. They're giving the kids guns and iPads. And both are dangerous. Because I'm going to tell you, there are some, you know, technology is amazing. That gives me the ability to communicate with you, ladies and gentlemen out there. That gives us the ability to do everything. Can you imagine today not having a computer? Some people can get along just fine with it. Just depends on what you do. Okay. But what I do and what millions and millions and millions of other people do, we need a computer. Okay. Right now, I'm sitting up with 5 monitors around me because of the work that I'm doing here. Yep, no direction from parents is dangerous. And let's get to that for a second. Let's jump on that. Let's jump on that. You give your child an iPhone, then and I saw someone. I think the child had to be about 5 or 6 years old. Oh, look at the new iPhone I bought her. What? For what? It's cute. And do you know that child can use that phone better than you can? He or she can look up things and research things and find out things that will shock you if you knew what they were looking at. But do you care? It's okay if you gave them some flip phone or something like that so they can call you to pick them up from school. Or they need to talk to you because of an emergency. We need a lot more than discipline. Anything can be overdone. Yes, exactly right. iPads for a 6 year and now it can now you take an iPad. It can be used as a learning tool for math, for science, maybe to do some critical thinking, maybe some puzzles or whatever it is to stimulate the brain. Okay, but if you do not put some guidelines on that thing, it says, okay, Johnny, okay, Susie, you cannot use this for anything else. There are things that you can do. You can put devices just like your TV. There are certain, you can program your TV that will only allow your children to watch certain things. But you guys are using that TV or that iPad as a pseudo babysitter. That's right. Sabora says she does not let her granddaughter on any tablet like that. She takes time. Whew. That's a key word right there. That is an optimum word or phrase right there. She takes time to actually interact with her. Children will learn what you teach them. And if you don't teach them anything at all, they're going to learn something. And guess what? You are not going to like where they're getting that information from. You're not going to like it. Folks, technology is a great, great thing. On the other hand, it can be a very, very dangerous thing. I was watching a program several years ago, and I don't know what happened to the program, but it was this particular parent who had left home, but he also set a trap for his daughter. Okay? Set a trap where this person had posed as a younger person, okay, and had communicated with his daughter in a way that the daughter was flattered and she got infatuated with this person, had never met this person, but over the phone or whatever it was, or on the computer rather, it was a dating app or something like that, had interacted with this person, okay, and after the dad left, she was getting ready to leave home with this guy. And when she was getting ready, when she opened the door, when there was a knock on the door, she opened the door. It was her dad standing there and let her know that he knew what she was doing and read her the riot act. I mean, she just broke down. Dad, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. He said, do you know the kind of trouble you could have gotten into. And this is happening every day. Our children are being kidnapped off the street, but not only that, they're being lured out of their homes because they've gotten on the wrong site. Kids are committing suicide these days because of cyber bullying. Okay? And the parents aren't doing enough to protect your children. And not only that, the schools, in a lot of cases, are fully aware that there's bullying going on, and they will not put a stop to it. I tell you what, if I were a principal or I had any authority in that school, it wouldn't go on. I guarantee you that. I'll put so much, not necessarily physical, but I put so much pain on that bully. He wouldn't bully anyone else, or she wouldn't either. Children are committing suicide because they are being bullied. Did you know at that age, that is something called gray matter? Like when children are born, they're like a sponge, right? And what you put in there, and they learn quickly. That's why it's so easy. It's easier for a young child. That's Dr. Demery. Hey, Dr. Demery.
I am so sorry, William. Go ahead and continue, man. I'll jump in whenever you let me. I am so sorry.
Man, I've been going on. Nobody's here but me. I'm glad you joined me. We got a half hour to go, and
Yes,
we're going
sir.
to continue. And I was just talking about several different things. And right now, I was talking about our children committing suicide because of bullying and
Yes, sir.
because of technology these days.
Right,
And
absolutely.
children aren't monitoring them, or the parents are not really paying enough close attention to their children
Right,
until it's too late. And
right,
now they've got a funeral to go to.
right.
Come on, it makes no sense at all, Dr. Demery.
And
It
it's
makes
stuff they could
absolutely
have
no sense.
prevented.
Go on.
No, I was going to say, and it's stuff they could have prevented by not paying close enough attention to their kids.
That's exactly right. That's what Sabura is saying. And we were talking about that gray matter, about that. We're going to talk about that a little bit. And then we're going to take the last few minutes. We're going to talk about that debate. Did you
Sure.
see the debate?
Yes, sir. I watched it
Mm,
twice.
we got to get into that. But yeah, let's talk about that. And you're exactly right, Sabora. The most informative years are birth to 5 years old. Folks, I'm telling you, you've got you wanted that child, and I'm assuming. I just put it like this. I understand there's unwanted pregnancies, but for the most part, parents. I'm just say this. I believe you love your children, or you say you love your children. Then why not look out for them? Okay, all right. You wouldn't give your child a knife to play with at the age of 1 or 2, would you? Or 3, or
Absolutely
4, or
right.
5, or 6?
You're right.
Okay. Why would you give them a device? Because these children are so smart these days that they can figure that computer out faster than you can.
That's right.
And it also make them vulnerable to things like bullying. Children are committing suicide. Okay. And you're right, Sabora. The ads and commercials are horrible, even when you let your children watch age appropriate shows,
That's right.
or when you don't let them watch age appropriate shows. Some parents are looking for other people to raise their children. Come on, then you shouldn't have them then.
Right.
If you want somebody else to raise your child, Dr. Demery, it is absolutely. I'm gonna let you jump in there, and then we're gonna switch to somebody else because I've gone from everything from the doom and gloom president to one that's looking for hope and uplifting spirits and things of that nature and want to see this country going forward. We talk about children being aborted after seventh, eighth, ninth month, which that clown is putting out there, which isn't happening, and being murdered. We also talked about Haitians that are being subjected to this vile racism that's costing lives, causing the town to be shut down in many cases, you know.
Right.
And these people are just the opposite. They're educated and they have revived the town of Springfield, Ohio. Okay. But you got clowns like 45 at JD Eyeliner Vance that's getting out there and pushing these lies, these conspiracies. Okay. Man, oh man, oh man. But let's get back to the children for 1 second. And I want you to talk about that because the age from birth to child, I mean to 5 years old, they are so vitally important because they're formulating, they're gathering information.
Right.
Okay. They're gathering feelings. Okay. And you can invoke positive, be a positive influence on your child, or you can be a negative influence on your child. You can allow the child to raise himself or be raised by somebody else, or you can do the job. Okay, and not let them have these harmful devices. Your take on that, Dr. Dimmer, before we move on.
Sure, I'll be brief, William. I want to say this, and I just give examples of things that have happened in my life, like you have, William, that have been very provocative. When my daughter was growing up, I would just show up to the school anytime I wanted because I had
Absolutely.
that relationship with the school. And one day she came to class and I'm sitting in her classroom. She said, Dad, what are you doing here? I said, I'm watching you. And I remember her telling one of her friends that said, look, you better watch out for Lawrence, Dad, because he may be watching us right now. So the point is that I would like to make is that you have to realize that your kids are investment monetarily, spiritually, physically, and socially. And if you're not willing to invest in that level, then uh, get off the pot or let somebody else have a chance.
Absolutely.
So I think that once you realize that kids absorb what you give them, and my daughter used to always say, "Look, I don't have to worry about my dad caring about me because every time I turned around, there he was." You
And do
know,
you know how important that
uh,
is? Do you
Oh
know how
yeah, that
important
she
that
she
is?
realized that I cared about her well-being. And when a
Mm-hmm.
child realizes that you care about them, not so much buying them gifts and lavishing them with all kinds of things, fling fling bling bling, but if they know that you care about them, just
That's right.
like in any relationship, if the person knows that you genuinely care about them, that goes a long ways and it says a whole lot.
That's right. Sabora, she was saying, you damn right. She said her mom popped up at her school and she said she did the same thing for hers. And also, it was something because Sabora, that's my swing sister, and she's on there, my Tuesday night show.
Uh-huh.
She's on there occasionally with Groove Swing Speaks. And I invite you guys to check it out. We're going to talk about the upcoming election this coming Tuesday. But anyway, and she was talking about talking to the child while they even in the womb,
Right,
singing to them, you
right.
know, giving positive vibrations,
That's
you
right.
know. And oh, she says also she's checking on them. She's also checking on the teachers. I don't blame you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, you're supposed to do that. And
That's
she
right.
talked about talking to her children while they're in the womb. And how important is that?
Very important.
Yes, right. That's right. And so many people that I've heard that do that, and you look at their children, how they come out and how they have developed, and there is a contrast there, a distinct difference between those and parents who really don't get involved with their children or teach their children,
Right.
because you can't allow. You can say, okay, I'm gonna send them to school and let the teacher teach them. You better start teaching them at home.
That's right.
You better start doing that. So
Hmm.
that's a whole lot. We've got about 42 minutes. And Dr. Dim, I'm going to switch subjects right now.
Yes, sir.
I want your opinion about the debate. Okay, I'm going to ask you a really dumb question right now. Who won that debate?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's like talking about the rabbit and the
Tortoise in the hair.
tortoise and the hare. You
Mm.
know, I mean, I was really, William, I'll be honest, I was really embarrassed for Trump. What a jackass. Excuse my language, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend
Don't.
anybody.
That's fine with me.
What a complete moron. What a complete idiot. The two things that were just ridiculous were saying that the Haitians were eating dogs and cats. And the city planner, I think it was the city planner or the city controller, said that that has been proven wrong. And he's
That's
still going to go against, and that idiot Vance even
yes.
said that it was not proven. And
Yeah,
he's
but he
still
said
going to,
yeah. He said it wasn't proven, but we need to explore things like that anyway.
right. Absolutely. What a complete moron. And I don't understand how anybody could, in their right mind, who's rationally thinking, can say that they would vote for this nut.
Absolutely, there's no question about it, Doctor Demery. I don't understand it either. Either you blind, stupid,
Right.
and crazy. You
All
are a
three.
yeah. You're a cultist. You're a member of the cult where
Right.
you so no information comes in except for QAnon conspiracies and things like that. But any rational human being would say, "What are you talking about?" And I tell you what, if I were an undecided voter, which I'm not, okay, that would be a deal breaker for me.
Absolutely, William. And it should be for anybody.
For anybody.
And you
And
lucky, you lucky I wasn't debating because I'd have been Kamala. I'd have walked up by him and slapped him upside the head, knocked that wig off of his head or whatever that mop or whatever that thing is on top of his head.
that's exactly right. And you're a big man, so he wouldn't have been able to see straight for the rest of the year.
Probably for the rest of his life.
I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Dimmer, a good friend of mine. Oh, you 6'4", 6'6",
Well, about 6'6", right around in there.
right? And 350 plus.
Yes, sir.
And I wouldn't want to be caught in a dark alley if he's in a bad mood. I wouldn't want to do that. No, I wouldn't
Well,
mess with you.
I tell you one thing: it ain't so much size because I've seen you, William, and I'd rather have you on my team than a lot of big people. So it don't be, size says something, but it ain't everything. I'd hate to tackle with you. I tell you that.
Well, I tell you what, I can get a little angered sometimes.
Yes,
Let's put it
sir.
like that. I'm gonna
Yes,
be
sir.
calm with that. But there's no question about it. And these idiots. Oh, and him, the first one. I won that debate. What universe do you live in?
I know what planet. What planet is he on?
I don't understand this. She mopped the floor with him
Sure did.
and then looked at him. And do you know he didn't once look at her?
Not one, and he wouldn't even shake her hand. She had to go across
When
the atrium there to shake his hand.
that's exactly right, to let him know, hey, look, I'm here.
That's
I'm
right.
right here. And she
Right.
just nailed him punch after punch after punch
Absolutely.
after punch. I mean, he couldn't get off the mat.
He couldn't.
If it was a boxing match, it would have been Floyd Mayweather against a high school boxer. It was
It'd been a one round bout.
one round. She knocked him out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no question, everything, you know. And so his excuse here, well, it was 3 against 1. They didn't fact check her like they fact checked me. That's because she
Right.
didn't lie, fool.
That's right.
They fact check when you start talking about eating people, Haitians eating dogs and cats. And I got something on here. Sabro said she lived around Haitians. She has never seen them eat no damn dogs or cats.
That's right.
Yeah, he has poor taste. He couldn't give her respect, but guess what? He didn't need to give it to her because she demanded that. She took it.
She took it. That's right.
She took it, right? And so, I mean, talking about babies being born being aborted in his 7th, 8th, 9th month. That does not happen, folks.
Right. And no doctor would ever do anything like that anyway.
And going as far as saying they're even being murdered after they're born.
Right.
Come on, man. Come on. Oh, she did better than well. I think she mopped the floor with him. As a matter of fact, the sisters in the hood said he got dragged. She
Right.
she dragged him. There's
Right.
no question about it. I had some people that told me before. It was my buddy Mike. He's on another assignment tonight. Dr. Sims. Well, it's too late for her to join, but she said she was going to join us. And Ann is out on assignment as well. So it's you and I, my friend. Anyway, matter of fact, we started this boomerang together.
Yes,
We
sir.
started this boomerang together, going
Yes,
back
sir.
some 8, 9 years here now. So
At
thank you,
least
my
that
friend.
long.
At least that long. And in December is our 10th anniversary. 10-year
Hallelujah.
anniversary. Thank God for that. Thank you, Lord, for letting us be on air this long. But I'm gonna tell
Hallelujah.
you something. There and the people saying that, well, she didn't talk about policy. Well, what in the hell you think she was talking about? She's talking about infrastructure. She's talking about jobs. She was talking about health care. She was talking about people going forward. She was talking about an uplifted society, not only to get by, but to get ahead. She laid it out there. And in a 90-second debate, you cannot go through the entire policy of anything. You don't have that much time. But she laid it out. What policies did he talk about?
None. None.
You know, they grade him on the curve. They grade him on the curve. And I want to blame mainstream media for that. You guys are a disgrace.
That's right.
You guys are a disgrace. I'm talking about you big wigs out there. And it take a little old station like me to call you yourself out. See, I almost dropped the A word. But I'm telling you right now, anybody with two brain cells to rub together know that he came nowhere near winning that debate.
That's right.
3 against 1. Well, when you start talking about people eating Haitians eating dogs and cats, and children being born in the or aborted in the 7th, 8th, 9th month and murdered afterwards, they had to call him out. Any reporter, that's worth their salt, had to call him out. You can't let him get by with that mess.
That's right.
And that's why I blame CNN on that first debate with Joe Biden. He lied and lied, and they let him get away with it.
Mm.
And since then, I used to watch CNN all the time. I don't watch them much anymore.
Mm.
I watch MSNBC. Now Fox,
Right.
I cannot watch Fox no more than 5 minutes without regurgitating.
Yeah, me neither. I can't even watch it.
And
I
do you know
start
what?
throwing stuff at the TV and everything else.
It's a doggone shame that Laura Ingraham, I mean, it's Sean Hannity, that what's that other clown that took oh my God, what's his name? Jesse Waters.
Right.
Those people are despicable.
Yeah.
Okay, and you know what? And this is the thing about it. I think they know what I know. They know what the truth is.
Mm.
They know what the truth is
Yeah.
because guess what? They read just like you and I do. But you know what? They are nefarious. They are evil. Those are some evil people. That's why it's cost their butt over $800 million for letting one lie go. And guess what? They got some more coming too. They got some more coming. I think Smartmatics or one of those voting machine companies that is after them for or like $2 billion. I
Mm.
forgot who won that lawsuit. They settled because it was supposed to be $1.5 billion,
Yeah.
but they settled for $787 million, I believe.
Yeah.
Bite them, bite them, get them, get them, get them. It makes no sense. And so the thing about it is, for me, there's only one clear choice. All right. Now, there was one major news. I don't know, it was the New York Times or whatever it is, and they were talking about Trump calling her dumb, calling her stupid, inexperienced, and after she whooped his butt up and down that doggone stage and back again, they said,
Mm.
"Well, what does that say about you?
That's
What
right.
does that say about you, Trump? If she's dumb, what does it say about you?"
That's right.
And people told me, "She's not ready yet." Man, you better get out of my face with that.
That's right.
Okay? She doesn't have the experience. Are you serious? I laid out something I saw. It was a chart earlier, Dr. Demery, about
Uh-huh.
the last presidents that have run for office, okay, and how much experience they had,
Hmm.
going all the way back to Clinton, all right? I think some of them had like 6 years or 8 years or 11 years, I believe. I think Obama had 11, whatever it was.
Right.
She's had 34 years
Yeah.
working in government, and she's not ready. Oh, she's more than ready.
Yeah.
She is more than ready. Okay, we just need to do our job and get our butts out there and vote.
That's right.
We've got to. And see, now, not only do we need to vote, and we also, and those swing states, we need to win those swing states because
Hmm.
there's something that there's two things that I think needs to be disbanded and gotten rid of altogether, and one needs to be completely overhauled. Number one, that's that damn electoral college.
Absolutely.
That doggone electoral college. You mean to tell me you're going to let 500 people tell you who won the doggone presidency when you got the popular vote? So what's
Right.
happening is they say your popular vote really don't mean nothing. 500 people. 500 people. It needs to be gotten rid of a long time ago. Matter of fact, Dr. Dimmer, you know more about this than I do. When did that electoral college, when was that? Was that going back to the 1800s?
Well, Ann could probably explain it a lot better than I can, but it goes back to the time of slavery, right before the Civil War, because the landowners and the states that had the least amount of people were able to have a vote uh, alongside the people who had states that had more people in it, and that's where it all began. Back around, you're right, William, around the 1800s, somewhere back in there. But it began. Its roots go right back into the time of slavery.
And that was at the time also when black people and women weren't allowed to vote.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, folks, you see what we're dealing with right now? We are dealing with an archaic system right there. It needs to be gotten rid of. Something that needs to be overhauled also, Dr. Demery. Oh, that electoral college is a problem for me too, Sabora. It's a problem for me. That's why we've got to win those swing states. And one good thing about this, Sabora, North Carolina is in play. North Carolina is in play. She was down there this past week, and she had record crowd. And um, he's talking about her crowds are small. And this past week, he was speaking to the crowd of guess what, Doctor Jimmy? The venue that he was in only hold 2,500 people.
Wow.
I mean, I'm sorry, 3,000 people, and he had
Right.
about 2,500.
Right.
Now,
To make it look like it was big.
contrast. Oh yeah, they do that. And contrast with her, when you talk about 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 people, what kind of drugs are these people on? Oh, Pat, your line sister Pat was there. Okay, you talking about at the she was talking about her line sister Pat. She was at the convention. Okay, okay. Wow, I wish I was there. And I tell you what, if you look at the, I didn't watch the Republican convention. I probably watched about 3 minutes of that. But the DNC, I watched the entire thing. I watched the entire thing. I sure did. Hey, Dr. Dimmer, I had I had a Sprite. I got a 7 Up today. I had a Sprite. I had peanuts. I had ice cream. I had cookies. I
Ice
put my
cream.
feet up and I enjoyed. Oh boy, oh boy. Yes, she was in Charlotte, but she also visited some of those small counties out there too. She is campaigning. She's running a brilliant campaign. She's running a brilliant campaign, and my gut tells me, okay. My mom used to say her favorite saying was, "My mind doesn't fool me, and my
Uh-huh.
mind doesn't fool me either." I know that she would be a great president. And I tell you what, I'm predicting that she will go down as one of the greatest presidents ever.
All right.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I believe that. That's right. It gave a lot of people a different perspective, Sabora. A
I'm
lot
in
of people.
agreement with you.
That's right. Now, let me tell you something else. Oh man, I can't believe we only have 6 minutes to go. But guess what, Doctor Dimmer? I don't know you. I know you heard it. This clown says, you know, he's not. At first, he said, "I'm not sure whether I want to debate again because you know what it is. Like it's just like a prize fighter. Like he knows something about prize fighting. It's just like a prize fighter. After a prize fighter get beat, first thing they want is a rematch. All right.
Well, you know what? You know what Kamala said. The off air, when the guys was saying to Kamala that she said to them, "Well, I hope Trump don't take this ass whipping personal."
You know what? I hope he does. I hope he does.
Oh
Oh
boy!
boy, because she beat him so bad. She
Yeah.
beat him up and down the floor. She mopped the floor with him. But guess what?
Right.
He was anxious to debate Joe Biden again. Now, going on based on what he said, the loser always wants a rematch.
Right.
Now, by default, and I'm gonna say this because Biden was way off his game.
He was.
He was way off his game. So by default, Trump won that round. He won that. He won
Right.
that debate. Okay.
He did.
So if you go by his premise, then why would he want to debate Biden again when he already won?
Right.
Okay. So he's saying that he won this one, but he's not sure whether he wants a rematch because he already won. See how the guy flip flops, contradicts his own self. He is so stupid. He is so. And I'm gonna tell you how I know he's stupid because he's talking about how smart he was. He went to Wharton Business College and this and that and the other. The people at Wharton, the very college that he graduated from, said that his proposals and his plans would bankrupt the United States. That's the school he went to.
One of his professors said he was the dumbest student he ever had.
You're exactly right. But see, people don't see that information doesn't get out into the mainstream. I don't know why. You know why? Because mainstream media does not report that stuff.
Right.
You're right. Both of them did horribly. Okay. The only thing about it was he sounded a little. He put his sentences together. He put his lies together. Let's put it like that. So that's the only thing that made him stand out from Biden. Biden had some good points, but he has a stammer, which and he couldn't get his thoughts out. He couldn't get them out the way he wanted to,
Right.
and he was not fact checked.
Right.
But guess what? Oh, and then some people were saying, "Oh, I heard even our boy Mike. He said it first several weeks ago. Oh, Trump will kill her in a debate." I said, "Mike, you must be crazy." But you know what Mike said after the debate?
Oh Lord.
You know what he said after the debate?
What's that?
I'm gonna just say this. He said, "Damn, William, she kicked his ass." That's what Mike, that's what Mike said. I said, "Mike, at least you fair. At least
That's
you
right.
fair." And she did. And she
Yeah.
asked for another debate. And then was it yesterday or the day before? He said, "Nope, there won't be a third debate."
Yeah.
Then he flip flopped again, said, "It depends on his mood.
Right.
Depends on his mood." What kind of answer is that, Dr. Demery? Depends on what mood he's in, whether he's going to debate her again.
That's like saying depending on what side he combs that hair, that wig on he wears.
And it was time for Biden to step down. Because
Right.
I'm going to tell you
And I
something.
got to give it to Biden. He was honest enough to realize that he wasn't up to it, and he was an honorable man by saying, "Look, I need to step down and pass the torch on to somebody who can take it."
That's exactly right, because otherwise we were going to lose.
Right.
We were going to lose. And,
That's right.
and it's a doggone shame because people really weren't paying attention to the facts.
That's right.
They
And
were
the
not
tide
paying
has
attention to
turned. The tide has turned.
Your tide has turned, brother, and I'm excited about it. We just need to get out to vote. We need to get our young people out to vote. I'm gonna say one last thing. Like I said in my opening, I don't see how anybody, unless you're dumb, you're stupid, or you are the elite that have you're in it for the money. Okay, I don't care what color you are. I don't understand why anybody would vote to them. But now I'm going to speak to any black man or black woman, and you are pro-Trump. Are you serious? Are you serious right now? You don't. You want to vote for? You want to vote for a slave master? You want to vote for a slave master? Is that what it is? Okay. If you look at his history, you might change your tune.
That's right.
Well, Dr. Demery, it's a wrap. That's it for us, brother.
Yes, sir.
So
Well, take
we,
care, Wayne. Sorry I got in so late, but glad to
don't
join in here a
apologize.
little
I'm
bit.
glad you came in, and we're gonna pick this up next week, folks. And
Sounds good.
I want you to keep it locked right here on the Buzz. Music, talk, sports, comedy, entertainment, and a whole lot more. We got a whole lot more to come. We got more to talk about. But now we're just gonna kick back, grab a glass, and enjoy, because coming up in about an hour, Sunday Night Gold. The
Sunday night
Jazzy
gold.
Diva, she's off on assignment tonight. So guess what? It's yours truly by myself. I'm flying solo. I'm
All
flying
right.
solo, and that's all right. I have no problem
Sunday
with that.
night gold.
Sunday Night Gold right here on the Buzz. Studio W Buzz, Studio W.Buzz, Studio W.Buzz. And keep in mind, we're available on Google Play, Apple CarPlay, and Alexa. Our free app, the Apple app, go to your Apple App Store and download Studio.W. Android is simply Studio W. The website is Studio W.Buzz. And we will see you in about an hour or so. So
Amen.
kick back, grab a glass, and enjoy. And this is my theme song right here, Dr. Demery.